Hare Krishna devotees. So welcome to Shloka a day. Today's Shloka is Shloka number 15 from chapter 6. So I'll recite it a few times first and then we can recite it together. Yunjan evam sadatmanam yogi niyata manasaha shantim nirvana paramam matsamstham adhigacchati yunjan evam sadatmanam yogi niyata manasaha shantim nirvana paramam matsamstham adhigacchati yunjan evam sadatmanam yogi niyata manasaha shantim nirvana paramam matsamstham adhigacchati. Please recite after me. Yunjan evam sadatmanam yogi niyata manasaha shantim nirvana paramam matsamstham adhigacchati yunjan evam sadatmanam yogi niyata manasaha shantim nirvana paramam matsamstham adhigacchati yunjan evam sadatmanam yogi niyata manasaha shantim nirvana paramam matsamstham adhigacchati. Word for word meaning and translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Yunjan, practicing. Evam, as mentioned above. Sada, constantly. Atmanam, body, mind and soul. Yogi, the mystic transcendentalist. Niyata manasaha, with a regulated mind. Shantim, peace. Nirvana paramam, cessation of material existence. Matsamstham, the spiritual sky. The kingdom of God. Adhigacchati, does attain. Translation. Thus practicing constant control of the body,
practicing constant control of the body,
mind and activities,
and activities,
the mystic transcendentalist, his mind regulated,
his mind regulated,
attains to the kingdom of God,
into the kingdom of God,
or the abode of Krishna,
or the abode of Krishna,
by cessation of material existence.
by cessation of material existence.
So this Nirvana Paramam, those who believe in voidism meaning that after you give up the body, you just merge into nothingness, that there is nothing actually that really exists. So this is one such interpretation of this Nirvana Paramam. But Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, there is no void anywhere in any universe. The energy of the Lord is pervading all of the universe. So there is no possibility of there being nothingness, because the Lord's energy is always there. So when it comes to meditation, there are so many different ways that are available to a human being to meditate. So many different processes, so many different schools. So if you look at the Eastern culture, you have Zen meditation, you have Buddhist meditation. Then in our own culture, you have the Tantric way of meditating. Then you have the Vedic way of meditating. So when you have so many different choices to make, Krishna is giving us a hint, which is the best choice here. The best choice is to focus on the Supreme Lord. So the solution is easy for us. In the shloka yesterday, the Lord said, the best is to always be thinking of me. So if the aim is to purify our mind, how can we purify our mind through any other type of meditation? It will take a very long time to purify the mind by any other method of meditation, because you are relying on your own capability to do that. Whereas, if through Bhakti Yoga, what are we doing? We are fixing our mind on the absolute pure, the all pure Lord Himself. So when we fixate our mind on the Supreme Lord, then automatically your mind will get purified. You don't have to make a separate endeavor to purify that mind. If the mind is fixated on the absolute pure, then automatically your mind will get purified. The whole objective of meditation is really to discover inner joy. So sometimes external means of trying to control the mind is also considered to be very artificial and material in that sense. So Krishna is saying the cessation of material existence here, Nirvana Paramam, is really nothing to do with voidism. It has to do with the fact that if you're internally absorbed in Krishna consciousness, you have already reached that spiritual realm. Internally, you've reached that spiritual realm. But of course, externally also, one can physically go back to the spiritual world. Hence, the Lord is saying, by practicing constant control of the body, mind, and activities, a person whose mind is thus regulated attains to the kingdom of heaven by cessation of material existence. Material existence means your mind is no longer here. Your mind is on the Supreme Lord. So we've discussed multiple times the varying levels of the definition of the word mukti. One definition is that you're liberated from anxieties even while you're residing in this body. And the ultimate cessation of all anxieties is to actually go back home, back to where we all originally came from. So that's the essence of the shloka. It also reminds us of a shloka in chapter 14, shloka number 26, which is one of the shlokas that we need to memorize. The shloka goes as follows. Manchayo vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. In that particular shloka, the Lord is instructing Arjuna by saying that anyone who engages in direct devotional service to the Lord, and the Lord uses the words unfailing in all circumstances. Unfailing in all circumstances, such a person transcends the three modes of material nature, the three gunas, immediately and comes to that level of Brahman realization. So just by practicing devotion to the Supreme Lord, but the criteria is unfailing in all circumstances. Such a person at once transcends Sattvagun, Rajagun, and Tamagun. So that's one connection between this shloka and the 14th chapter.